Yankee approach.
Good evening, folks. Palomar tower number 2, flying Brazil, 2 mile final, runway 24, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 244, Victor Alpha.
Good evening, folks. This is Green Monkey Aviation, and I'm in my Cessna CT206 from Carenado, and this here is my Foreflight that I'm using for this short VFR trip. I'm actually almost done with my trip, and I'm on my way back to my home base, which is the Palomar McLaren Airport. I still don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, it's called the Palomar Airport, and you can see it's right here on our Foreflight here. For some reason this was locked, so this is where I am trying to go, the McLaren Palomar Airport, CRQ, and here I am. And as you can already hear, I am tuned into the Palomar Tower. I already have the ABOS, and I am on my way to land on runway 24. I would be requiring clearance when I'm closer, but right now everything looks good. The weather-wise and traffic-wise, I don't think there are a lot of advisories. But since I am almost home, around 15 miles, I thought I should get a video. So in this short video, I'm gonna show you a really cool feature of Foreflight. This feature would enable you to have, let's call it, bookmarks on your Foreflight. So usually I use this to fly over a point, and I use it as my own waypoint, as my navigational waypoint. For example, I'm going to show you this. Always on my way back home, I try to go over familiar terrain, and one of them is actually a small tennis court somewhere here. Let me show you. Find that tennis court here. The tennis court. Should be somewhere here. Yeah. Give me a second here. Yeah. Yep, there you go. You can see these tennis courts. So if I fly, when I'm doing a VFR flight, it's always good to see things like these, things that you're familiar with, and you don't see these things marked on the VFR charts, but it's always helpful if you can mark it on the VFR charts, and sort of fly to this point, and then you can fly to your local base airport. So if I know, okay, if I'm flying above this tennis field, I know that I have to fly a heading of let's say in this case 240 in order to head directly to the airport. So let me get straight to the point. You click on the point, you go to Waypoints, and just select this exact coordinate. As you can see, you get an orange diamond. Now, all you have to do is click this plus point, and let's see, I'm gonna call it dot T as in tango. So the reason I called it dot T is because there are no airports that start with a dot. So when I'm flying, I can actually mention, so I'm not going to have a name conflict since I've used a dot. Just making sure I'm on my track here and not way off course. Okay, actually not that bad, still flying towards the airport. Let me actually take a 360 here. I have some more things to tell you guys, and meanwhile I don't want to get too close to the airport. So here we are, the point T as in Tango, and then we save it, which I forgot to do last time. And now let me show you how I would fly to this point. I'll like go to the search waypoint tab and say .t, and there you go. You have your point, and there will never be a conflict. There will never be another airport. And that's the reason I named it with point T. And now all you have to do is direct to. And in this case, let's actually fly over to that point, and then from there we'll head back home. So, I mean, there's nothing great about this feature. This is a very simple feature, easy to use, but it can help you a lot. Like for example, in my case, I've bookmarked this point as .t, and whenever I'm inbound to my local airport, this will usually be the first waypoint, will usually be the waypoint that I would fly to before I make the inbound approach to my airport. And this is kind of useful, very precise, very exact. It has the exact coordinates, so you know you're not you know your exact point on the VFR map, and you know your approach from here. You're very familiar with the approach from here and all that. So basically this, the biggest value proposition of this feature is that it lets you mark points on the VFR map that isn't marked otherwise. For example, in this case we marked the tennis court, right? As you can see, the golf course is there, but not the tennis court. So if you want to mark something really small, really precise, this feature comes in really handy. Anyways, looks like we did our 360, and we are gonna go back to our airport, which is Palomar, and I'm gonna show you my usual approach in just a second here. So let me clear our nav lock. I'm gonna say that I will be going first to Vista, to this point, and then I'll fly in here, this point, and then to this point, and then I'll enter final and enter transfer. So, and enter transfer. So this is kind of my approach right now. I am gonna be flying straight into runway 24 via a right base. So let me just get aligned with my magenta line, and I think this here is my airport. And by the way guys, I am going to be making a separate review for the CT206, which is a very neat airplane from Carenado. Flies well, has the new Garmin G430, I suppose. So anyways, I am too high for my airport, so I'm just going to put on the autopilot here and start descending. Right in front of me is the other airport that I am very familiar with, and it's one of my favorite airports. Is the Oceanside Airport, which I fly to a lot. So anyways, let me also introduce you to another feature which I'm going to be talking about in detail in the future videos. But this is the profile view, of the Foreflight. It kind of tells you how clear you are from the terrain. In this case, it says that I'm flying at 3,600 MSL, which is 2,700 something above the ground, so I'm good. And the neat thing about this is that this profile view changes as you change heading, and it gives you the profile, the terrain profile in your direction of flight or in your heading. This is a very cool, neat feature here. If you zoom in and zoom out, it can actually give you a profile view of more than 25 or 30 nautical miles. In this case, you can see the terrain ends after around 10 miles. It's because we have the ocean after that.
Okay, no, 15 Boulevard Tower, runway 24, clear to land, westbound.
Runway 24,
Looks like there's not much traffic at the airport right now. We do have a couple of airplanes coming in. Looks like this is it, almost the end of the day for our airport here in Carlsbad, California. And this airport actually starts operation at 7 a.m. in the morning, 7 a.m. Pacific obviously, and ends at around 10 Pacific. Not a very busy airport, but yeah, we do have jets landing in. We have the Qualcomm's Gulfstream. Actually, this is the home of the Qualcomm's Gulfstream. So, I mean, we have big airports. We have a few continental, regional jets flying in from LA, I think, somewhere. But this airport has a few good flying clubs like Pinnacle Aviation and ATP. It's kind of good. And I'm gonna level off at this place because the DPA of our airport is 1,300, and since I'm still kind of 5 to 10 miles away from the airport, I just want to make sure that I don't descend too much. And if you would notice here in the profile view, you can see it also gives you a terrain profile of what's behind you. You can see there was some terrain behind us, but still nothing to worry about. We are still high enough. It's still yellow, not red, which is kind of good. If you get too low, this terrain color changes to red. So this is very useful. Kind of gives you keeps you alert and gives you a picture of what's coming, a 2D picture of what's coming in front of you. It's really a helpful tool, especially for flying in terrain. And if you have flown in the Southern California, you must be knowing there's a lot of terrain to the east, and this feature really helps you fly safely, and that's the whole point. That's the whole idea. Being safe out there. At this point, I'm just going to trim the airplane a little bit and fly at 2,000. I know some of you are wondering about this new airplane and how it might be and whether it's worth it to purchase it from Carenado or not. So I'm going to talk in detail about it, but I'm going to leave the decision up to you guys. For me, I think this was a good aircraft to try it out. It's a high performance aircraft with very high climb rates, and it's a powerful aircraft. It's got a long range, and there's a big fuel tank as well, as you can see from here. I think around 40 gallons on each side, so that can take you on long VFR flights for sure. As you can see, the terrain profile is changing. It says there's terrain 5 miles ahead of us, but it's nothing that we should be worried about for two reasons. First, we are not flying into this terrain here, which is what the Foreflight is showing, and second, it's still yellow. That means we still have a lot of clearance, and there's nothing to worry about. Okay, we are on the base leg now. This point, I'm gonna use power a little bit and bring first notch of flaps and make sure visually that the flaps are set. Yes, they are. Flaps are set and snap to set. We're coming in a little bit, actually not a little bit, very high. But that's not going to be a problem. I'm going to lose a lot of altitude to the base leg itself. As you can see, our airspeed is kind of slow, so I'm just going to put another notch of flaps. Put the nose down a little bit because we have lost a lot of airspeed. Still want to be in the green. Still a few miles to go before touchdown. You don't want to be too slow right now. And I want to be able to make a square turn. Let's see if I can do that. I will need a little bit of power to get a beautiful square turn. We'll take about 1800 RPM. Keep it there. banks, not more than that. Always remember, base to final turn should not be more than 20 degrees. I shouldn't say should not be, but if you're not an experienced pilot, then I wouldn't go more than 20 degrees, because the airplane's really slow at that speed. There's a lot of chances of it going into a stall. Okay, at this point I'm going to minimize this, get a full view, and make sure I hit the runway. All the WASI lights are looking good. Too high is alright, you can always fix that, especially in this airplane. If you take out the power just a little bit, you can see a lot of descent rate coming in really fast. I'll put the third notch of flaps and try to put the airplane down at close to 50 knots when I'm touching down. And this is looking really good. Admit I ballooned in a little bit, but that's fine. Not a bad landing after all. Everyone was safe. We learned a little bit of Foreflight and made it back home safe, and that's what matters. Right, so I'm just going to taxi to the left on Alpha here and just park it there. Won't take a lot of your time. We are almost home. Okay, missed the center line there. That Beechcraft to our 1 o'clock looks good. I don't think its pilot would mind us parking the airplane close to it. I'm just gonna do my shutdown here and then take out my tow bar and park the plane nicely and closely to that Beechcraft there. This last line here. That should do it. We'll turn the avionics off, do the ground check, and pull the mixture out. Master switches off, and let's get some fresh air. Okay, so this is the plane we were flying, and let me get the flaps up. Always forget to do that. Okay. So this is the new CT206 from Carenado for X-Plane, and I was flying the default paint scheme, but I'm gonna show you all the paint scheme that Carenado offers, and also
Howard 67423 with you. Correction, Howard 423 on the ILS 24.
and also how
77423 Palomar Tower, wind calm on runway 24, clear to land. Clear to land runway 24, Howard 423.
So that was Green Monkey Aviation. Just a small video while coming back to home, to Palomar Airport. And you guys have a good day and fly safe.